Welcome to the Honest Property Podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Ruth. And in this podcast, we love to talk all things business and property. And we have been investing in property for maybe 12 plus years now.
10 to 12 plus years.
10 to 12, yeah. Depends when you officially want to say that you start, because our education began obviously sooner than we started actually investing. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about our own education that we are offering, which is a beginner's roadmap to building a buy-to-let portfolio. Through our own experiences, we have basically designed the exact thing that we wished we had when we began. And we are encouraging people to build slow and sustainable investments. And the best way to do that is building a buy-to-let portfolio.
Because that's really how you build wealth, is slow and sustainable.
Yeah. And if everybody knows that investing is a good thing, investing in property is a good thing, there's just not enough knowledge out there with how. And the knowledge that we were encountering when we were learning was very sort of corporate, very expensive, quite male dominated, sort of masculine energy attitude to work, which didn't align with how we wanted to work like a woman.
It taught us to learn to be burnt out.
And we ain't about that anymore. And
so we want to change that space and make sure that we make something that we wish we had that honored our feminine energy too.
And there's just so many options out there that are also going to distract you from the thing that's going to give you sustainable wealth. There's going to be a lot of different strategies that might suit you. But if you're somebody who
is actually looking for wealth building and you're not looking for
buying yourself another job
or quick fixes, then this is for you. If you're looking for a quick fix, we ain't your people. Get out.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, so basically we've made a buy-to-let portfolio. We emphasize on buy-to-let because during the period of time where our business was the big C word was affecting all of us, and we were globally all shut down, then our buy-to-let portfolios were the ones that of all the different types of strategies that we had in our property portfolio that rode us out and were the least amount of headache. I think I do really want to emphasize there are other ways of doing property, like having an Airbnb, for example, that is basically running a 24/7 hospitality business with a lot of overheads and a lot of things to factor in. So we do emphasize a buy-to-let strategy, specifically a strategy called BRRR. BRRR. I think the R's totally can change depending on if you're American or English. But
so the difference with this and flipping, for instance, is when you flip, you are selling at the end of upvaluing the property, so you get a nice pot of cash. With this strategy, you're holding onto the asset and you keep recycling the same amount of money.
In our course, actually, we'll go into it a little bit more, but we do emphasize the difference between passive income and active income. So we do consider flipping properties, which is buying, redoing them up and then selling them on, as active income. But we really want to encourage you to have passive income through and get residual income through building assets that you own. And we will teach you how to do that by recycling the same pot of money you needed to acquire to get the first one over and over and over again. And that's exactly how we've done it for ourselves. So we really wanted to emphasize that this is for people who are
already proactive.
You've already got a strong mindset. You
already have the discipline.
Yeah. So you might be an entrepreneur, you might be a business owner, you might be working in a very high demand job and being paid quite well, and you've got some money aside, you're not sure what to do with it, or you've got you need to invest in property and you've got somebody who you could potentially approach to get you kickstarted on your journey.
You want to make sure that you set up your children for a great start in their future.
Perhaps you've got a lot of equity in your house. You bought your own home, you did it up, and you know that you've heard that people have released equity from that house to invest into something. That is a great strategy, by the way. But
there are people that do release equity and then they just do up the house that they're in. But if you can use that pot of money to buy an asset,
then that asset can pay for your house that you live in.
Yeah.
Property can be so creative, really. And we share this all in our course. So we really want to just explain what can you expect to learn. This is really for people who are serious about taking solid action now. I can't emphasize that enough. If you are still hesitant, then I suggest that you work on building up your mindset, having a positive attitude to money, knowing that you are deserving of a good life with this one life that you get, and that you really need to learn how to identify what is truly important to you.
Yeah, if you need any help with that, then we do have book recommendations that we can recommend you,
because we've had to do a lot of work on our mindset, and it's ongoing.
It's ongoing.
We're always reading, we're always practicing.
Never stop learning.
Yeah, mindset especially, because if that is the crux, if you don't have a good mindset and a good approach to a good drive to make change, then this isn't going to happen. It's all just going to be an idea. So
this is also really why we created this course, because we knew that if you're anything like us and you want to learn to invest in property, you already do have that mindset.
Okay, so the BRRR, I think we just put 3 R's in this one. The BRRR basically stands for buy, refurbish, rent, and then refinance. So the buy aspect is you buy the house, you buy your property, you refurbish it. So you've got the property that you buy is probably going to be one that needs a lot of tender loving care.
And this is what the investors buy.
Yeah, so we don't buy brand new properties. You
need to buy something that needs to be added value to it.
And the way you add value is by refurbishing it. So we'll get a smelly property or a very a property
lived in,
a very lived in property, and then you make it brand new and a beautiful place for someone else to live in through refurbishing it. So we'll teach you exactly how the process of that we go through with a building schedule, a work schedule to make the house spick and span for someone else to call a home. And then when it's finished, you rent it out to a tenant, somebody who's going to be in it probably for a year or more.
And we'll show you exactly the different types of tenants that you can target for your buy-to-let strategy, and what suits you as an investor, what type of tenant that you want to go for building your portfolio. So we'll show you exactly what to look for in a tenant.
Yeah, and how to find them as well, and whether or not you use management, whether you want to manage it yourself. We go into all the details of that. And then refinance is where the magic happens. So this is when you remortgage the property, and the amount that you put in as a deposit and for the refurbishment, the cost of refurbishing that property will be released once you refinance, or if not, most of it. It might not be all of it, but it'll be the majority of it.
Yes, and also that's completely dependent on where you invest as well.
Yeah. So we'll dive it, like that. Figuring out the numbers is the crucial part. Identifying the area, identifying the property, stacking your numbers, knowing that they're going to work. That's a crux in making sure that this model, the BRRR model, works, so that you're able to recycle the first amount of money that you put in over and over and over again, as long as you understand and know how to analyze whether a property is going to work for this strategy. So it really is magic, and that is how Ruth and I have been able to grow a portfolio of rental properties worth more than 2 million now.
So just to highlight, we will show you examples of the different scenarios of different real life properties with the deal analyzer, so that you can see the difference from something that needs a lot of refurbishment to something that needs minimal, and you can see the numbers will guide you through what makes it a good property and what doesn't.
Using the spreadsheets that we personally use, which is the bread and butter for our own business.
And once you've learned that, it will make it a lot easier and easier every single time you're viewing properties to know exactly what you're looking for.
What? So it's just like taking a long time to drink. It's like coffee.
Yeah, you're 3 now.
Yeah. So we're going to run through the modules that we all cover. But we do want to start with saying that every course that is purchased is we donate a percentage of that profit to a charity that is very meaningful to us. It's called Kanlungan, and it is a charity for migrant workers from Southeast Asia who come to the UK, and they are suffering from
modern slavery. Kanlungan means shelter and refuge, and so we feel that this is very fitting for the charity that we've chosen for a property course. So
yeah,
so really appreciate it, that you are going to be helping a
really worthwhile, a really meaningful cause that's dear to our hearts, and
still learn,
and maybe even potentially house the people that they could be your tenants. They could be people that are really massively impacting your community and supporting our communities, because a lot of them are in the care industry and their stories are not told.
So what's the point in creating wealth if you can't give it back to the community?
To us, it's a very essential part of our responsibility of being the good people who, if you are somebody who, I think money really amplifies who a person really is. So if and money can fall into the hands of good people and not so good people, and generally wealthy are tainted with a bad brush. But in a lot of cases, and maybe these stories aren't heard as much because negative news is what really makes
sells papers. Wealthy people are able to give back more.
Yeah. So we want to make sure that is a huge part, and we want you to feel like that everything, like your choice in building your wealth, is already directly helping somebody else. So thank you. And there are going to be, it's a 10-week course. There are 8 modules, and they're going to be drip fed to you once a week, which means that you've got a week to digest the information, really absorb it, look into it more if you want to around that particular topic that module is about.
And because it's 8 modules, but there's 10 weeks, it should take 10 weeks. It gives you an extra 2 weeks to be able to complete the course without worry, without stress.
Yeah. Take it in your time, but we still want you to be proactive.
Yeah.
You've got a week. You have full access to the course once it's all released to you anyway, but it's just a way for you. We want you not to feel overwhelmed. We want you to digest everything, understand, take ideas away, look into things, and then resume the next course. Because when we were learning, it was intensive.
It was so intense.
For like the first learning that we did was like 3 days, and then it was 3 days again. It was like 24, like it was so long, the days.
It was so long.
And you could miss information, not absorb things very well. So we think doing it this way is a great way.
Especially when you're sitting there for ages.
Yeah. So module 1, we're going to talk about assets and liabilities and what the difference is. Highly recommend you go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because that was where we understood the difference for the first time.
It was the catalyst to start our
investing journey,
our business journey as well. As entrepreneurs, and it is such a valuable book. It is the OG. It's a timeless book that has been the catalyst for our financial literacy. So I really urge anyone read.
It basically emphasizes very much how you claim back your time through investment. So I'm going to put the link to that in the description, so that you can get that for yourself, but it's a very good starting point. And then setting your investment goals, because if you don't have a goal and you don't know your why, then you're not going to be motivated to stick to this. This isn't easy. If it was that easy, then everybody would do it. It is probably the simplest strategy. Once you understand how to run your numbers and how to identify opportunities, but your goal, your reason for doing this needs to be more than just, I want to make money.
Otherwise, you're not going to push yourself at all, or you're not going to be resilient in wanting to continue. And if, for us, our first why was to look after our parents in their retirement. And that was a huge incentive for us to succeed. So everyone's goals are very different. And so identifying this from the beginning before getting into the numbers is so important and crucial to stay proactive throughout the rest of the course.
And then you also know where to allocate your time. You're going to recognize, okay, am I just making more liabilities for myself because I'm trying to keep up with a peer group that doesn't really care about me? Or am I focusing on the thing that truly makes me happy, whether it's spending time with my family, making sure my children or my parents or my partner are looked after? Am I able to travel the world?
Am I able to retire if I choose to be a freelancer? Can I retire later on, or will I have to continue working into my 90s?
So these are solid goals. These are real goals. These are real human goals besides just making money. So identify what your real goals are, because once we can identify that, we can work backwards and see what it takes to get you there. Understanding the BRRR strategy. I put more R's in front of me, I can see there. But the BRRR strategy. But it is the golden strategy that we use to be able to the beauty of it is you are recycling the first pot of money over and over and over again. And we really break down exactly how you do that. In module 2, we talk about researching target areas and types of tenants. So there are many types of tenant. Ruth and I have got social housing tenants. We also cater to asylum seekers,
houses of multiple occupancy,
where you might have students who are living there.
So it's finding the right mortgage for the right type of tenant to suit your goals
with that property.
Yeah.
And then we will be analysing property deals. So like Ruth and I said, you will have access with us giving you a video guide exactly how to use this spreadsheet. And this is your bread and butter. Without it, you're sort of just throwing arrow in the dark.
Is that saying?
I don't know.
A needle in a haystack.
A needle.
No, that's not right.
You know, I mean, like you are just you're aimlessly aiming and praying.
There's no direction. There's no...
You need to know when a property is actually going to serve you or be a liability for you. So analysing property deals means that you're running numbers. You've got a spreadsheet. You'll learn how to put the numbers in. Floating heads will guide you and give you examples of what isn't a good deal, what makes a great deal, maybe what's a mediocre deal. So that...
How to navigate the different softwares to be able to learn how to...
find these properties in the first place. So whether you're looking on online search platforms, we'll show you exactly how we find them along with the examples. And this alone is worth so much. I would say this is a very important module in the whole course.
This is gold.
Like, I don't know how to put a value on that, but that is
but teaching you how to understand this is what
will make the whole difference.
Module
3 is understanding the different finance options, and that and how to work with lenders and budgeting for your project. So the finance options could be, how do I approach a lender? What do I say to a mortgage broker? What are they looking for? How do I come prepared?
We cover briefly as well creative ways of financing.
If you want to go with an investor, how do you set that up?
Private investor, we have a script that we've provided as well, how to ask, how you structure paying back your private investor, and also even covering a little bit on lease options, which is what people do now.
Ruth and I have used both mortgages and private investors, so both great ways to get going. You don't need to use all of your own money. You can get started with somebody else's money.
And we do cover bridging as well. So we've got lots of options there for you to understand and find what suits you.
And in module 4, it's all about the refurb. So planning your schedule of works and your renovations. How do you find a good builder? How do you find a good contractor? Who's going to be in your power team? What's worth doing yourself, because labor is very expensive. Maybe you're up for doing some painting, or you've already got some skills in plumbing. That would significantly save you a lot of costs, but just seeing where it's worth it. So it's also managing your renovation costs and the timeline, because the timeline is crucial. The timeline costs money. Every night that your property isn't rented, you are losing money
monthly, especially if you have bought your property with a mortgage.
That is a cost that you're going to have to factor in, and you're going to need to learn basically how to project manage the whole refurbishment of the property. So that is module 4. Module 5 is approaching refinancing. So understanding the legal requirements and ensuring you're compliant with regulations. This is a lot of admin stuff that you have to do legally, and it's important to get it right and set you up for success and not have anything to worry about once you've finished your project, and making sure that you are prepared to show proof basically to the mortgage companies that your property is worth the new value that it is now, in order to pull back out the money that you put in and start it all over again. In module 6, it's more admin. It's quite a bit of admin, but it's really important.
Looking for what insurances that you need for your property. So if you have decide to go with a flat or decide to go with a house, then understanding the difference between contents and building, or do you need both, landlord insurance, and how to market your refurbished property, and whether to not you're going to use management or self-manage as well. So we'll give a lot of tips there of how to vet tenants as well, and what to look for in a management team if you decide to factor in management.
Module 7, this is where you are going to reflect on, your first property is very unlikely to be the best one you invest in. And there's going to be a lot of learning on the way. This course is going to help set you up in the best way possible, but the most amount of learning will really happen whilst you're taking action. So this module is going to go on, help you self-reflect on what you've learned, where you can do better, where you can maximize things, where you can minimize costs.
And also just showing you as well of whilst you've acquired a sizable portfolio, where can you make improvements to better the portfolio? Where's one property lagging that you can spend? Where should you spend your money on which properties first before the others? It's trying to navigate that and how to understand which needs more attention than another property.
Yeah, it's totally reanalyzing what you've got, maintain your long-term value, and be proactive with making sure that you are optimizing your properties and making your entire portfolio the best that it can be, and
showing you how often you need to be checking on your portfolio. This isn't a set and forget. Yes, it's the most passive, but nothing is ever truly passive. You still need to look after your investments.
So Ruth and I have actually we've done that. We do that a lot. You might see a property and be like, this one could be remortgaged now. Let's schedule that in. That's going to happen this month. Or this property has the opportunity to be title split, which means turning one property into two, and then you can refinance on two properties. It's constantly reanalyzing.
It's time to replace the carpet in this one in between a new tenant moving in, or replace the kitchen, or it's time to...
And if I've replaced the kitchen, what rent can I command now? Because the property has increased in value and in quality. So that's a very business part of the portfolio once you've got it.
Yeah. And then it's module 8 is just talking about business tips,
accountancy, bookkeeping,
just how to run your investments as you're treating it like a business. You should treat every investment you have like you're running a business, and how to set up tips on setting up your bank accounts, whether to use limited company. We go further into a lot more into that, and like what softwares to use.
Yeah. And throughout the modules, Ruth and I are going to provide a video guide explaining in a lot more detail exactly how to do things. And there's also going to be a ton of worksheets and templates for you to work off of. Glossary, property inspection checklist, contractor interview questions, gifting letter template for investors, leasehold letter script template, a direct to vendor letter, not to mention our spreadsheet for deal analyzing. And then once you've completed the course, this should take you about 8 weeks. You'll be sent a link to enjoy free.
On the 9th week, you'll be sent a community to join the community, and this is a month free at the end of completing your course,
so that you are with like-minded people who've also got that foundational knowledge from the course. They're taking proactive steps. They want to help each other, pick each other's brains, share ideas, ask questions, share resources. If you want to know who's the best builder for this area, they're going to be on there. If you want more bespoke help as well, that will be on offer to you once you've completed the course, and that will be working with our deal clinic, which basically is somebody who's going to help give you the confidence to check that the numbers on your deal analyzer spreadsheet are even correct, or break down exactly how to do it for yourself if you're stuck with how to do it. Or if you want further help, there is the option to have a one-to-one mentorship, but we really do want to stress that you need to have foundational knowledge for that mentorship to be worth it for you, because
so this is why we didn't want to offer this at the beginning. You need to have the knowledge first before a mentorship, otherwise you are not going to gain anything from having mentorship without this knowledge first.
Yeah, it'll be quite expensive for you to pay for the cost of that bespoke level of education if you don't have foundational knowledge first, and it would just help you and everybody if you were informed with the very basics before pursuing such bespoke care or bespoke to your deal. But we do commend having a mentor. We did have one ourselves, but you're going to gain so much from having the community. You can then be smart with your finances when it comes to getting a mentor, how much mentorship it is that you require after having the support and your foundational knowledge.
So then that means that if you do decide to have ongoing individualized support, then you can ask questions that are worth the money.
Yeah, and then that money is better spent in your actual investment. And you will learn along the way. We really want to stress that you could learn everything, but the thing that is really important is taking action and having a group behind you who are going to back you up and support you on the way. If you have questions, then that is something that we truly wished we had, and we're so excited to be able to share with you and present and offer a way of learning about property in the way that we genuinely wished we had and know would have benefited us. So the course is going to be live and dropping on the 14th. If you are interested in growing your financial independence, building yourself a security because you want to claim your time back to live life on your terms the way that you want to live it, spend more time with your family, maybe reduce your hours at your active income job, then sign up to our it might not even be a wait list anymore, but you can sign up to our wait list if it's there. I'm going to put the link to the beginner's roadmap to building a buy-to-let portfolio in the comments as well.
Remember that property is a vehicle to be able to pursue a wonderful life in many different passions of yours. So property is there to help you live life. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it is. It is a tool. Property is a tool. Once you understand it, then you can set yourself up to recycle that money over and over again and slowly build something that's sustainable, that's not going to cause you an immense amount of stress, because you can take a step back from working in your active job if you choose to, or you have the capacity to build a new business like we did, and we know other people have, because property's in the background being that support pillar for you financially to be able to pursue whatever it is you want to pursue.
Exactly. And with this, compared to stocks and shares, you have a lot more control in your assets. So this is why we really, really promote property investing. Just start investing.
Yeah, but if you want to learn how to build a buy-to-let portfolio, click the link in the description below, and we really look forward to helping you and growing together and becoming a group of people who are just a brand new community of types of investor in the world, and do the world a whole lot of good. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.